Hello, hello. Welcome back. We are doing another Bible study. This time we are going to do the book of Philippians. If you don't know where Philippians is, it is in the New Testament. So we are going to go there right now. This is the introduction video to the book of Philippians. So this book was written by Paul, the Apostle Paul. He was not a disciple of Jesus. He actually converted after Jesus's resurrection and ascension. He had this big eye-opening moment, literally, on the road to Damascus in the book of Acts. If you want to go back and read about that, be my guest. You probably should. But anyway, right now we're going to talk about the book of Philippians, or the letter to the Philippians that Paul wrote. He wrote most of the New Testament after his conversion, which is very miraculous. For like, he was a Pharisee. He persecuted Christians. He was so zealous for God, Yahweh, that he would kill Christians because he didn't think that it was the way. And then when Jesus opened his eyes, he was just drastically changed. His whole life turned around, and he ended up being like kind of like a pastor, like starting churches in different areas. He traveled. He was a missionary. He was an evangelist. He took care of all these churches. Like, he wrote most of the New Testament, like I said. So he was a very, very, very important guy, especially, for us today, even, that are still reading his letters, still learning from his ministry. So anyway, Paul wrote the book of Philippians. He wrote it to the church in Philippi. This was written about 62 AD, 61, 62 AD, something like that. This is during his imprisonment in Rome. So, he was in prison in Rome. He was going through a trial. He was going through imprisonment and suffering for the Lord. So he wrote this letter to the Philippians to encourage them, because they were going through trials. They were going through things and sufferings for Jesus. And he just wanted to encourage them. Like, listen, I am in prison right now. And they had heard that he was in prison, and they started to get scared, and they were just beginning to be fearful. And he was writing to them like, listen, I'm okay. I'm being in prison for the gospel of Jesus Christ. And it's okay if you're going through suffering. It's okay if you're going through trials. Like, this is exactly what Jesus said that would happen. Like, we are going to suffer too. And he wrote this letter to encourage them in the faith, to keep going, persevere through anything that you have to go through. Okay. So, an outline for this, there's 4 chapters. It's very short letter. Chapter 1 would be stay steadfast despite circumstances. Chapter 2, have the mind of Christ. Chapter 3, walk through life guided by Christ. And chapter 4, how to live the Christian life with his peace. So, Jesus is going to guide you. Jesus is going to lead you. Have the mind of Christ. Have peace, and stay steadfast despite anything that you're going through. So this is a letter of encouragement. This is a letter that focuses on comforting and rejoicing because of the cross, because of what Jesus done for us, and to have joy. Like, the biggest thing is joy. Have joy because of what Jesus did for us. So you read about the Church of Philippi in Acts chapter 16 if you want a refresher about that. So one of the key themes is thanksgiving in the midst of suffering. And a key verse is Philippians 1:21 that says, "For me to live is Christ, and to die is gain." So if you're living for the Lord, and you're serving the Lord, and you're suffering for the Lord, but God is with you. And to die, you get to be with the Lord. So either way, you're a winner. Bible study tip here. Notice the specific uses of the phrase "in Christ" all throughout this letter. The church's primary identity here in Christ, that they are in Christ. This holds everything together, that we're all in Christ. This holds everything together. We are all in Christ. So the application here, Philippians, is a great book to read whenever you are going through hard times, you're going through hard circumstances, you're suffering, or you're just going through a trial, you're just having a really hard time. This just gives you encouragement to just keep pushing on, keep moving forward, continue on in the good fight, remain in church, keep praying, endure, persevere, remain steadfast, because it's all going to pay off in the end. So, Then one thing here, there's a chiasm, which is a literary element. I don't know that I want to even go too deep on this, but there is a chiasm in chapter 2, verses 6 through 11 that I'll go through when we get to that point. And a chiasm is a literary element that it starts here, and whatever is mentioned here is mentioned at the bottom, and it kind of meets in the middle, and the middle point is like the center um idea, or the basis of what you're talking about. And I'll kind of explain it more later, but it's very unique. And the one that is mentioned here is like a staircase. So it starts at the top of the stairs, and then you get to the bottom, and there's like a level ground, and then you go up this side, and it's really cool. We'll just have to do it when we get to chapter 2, okay? And you'll understand what I'm talking about. But anyway, so couple of things here. Key themes again: unwavering joy in suffering, and the centrality of Christ and unity in the church. It's written to express gratitude, like Paul is expressing gratitude to the Philippian church because they have given financial support to him. It is a letter that was sent by Aphrodius, is the name of the guy that's actually taking the letter to the Philippians. And the letter is aimed at that congregation. It promotes unity, expresses joy despite imprisonment. And this is a letter for us today to persevere during trial, persevere during sufferings. So a little bit of history: the church was facing intense opposition and social marginalization and direct hostility due to their faith. As a Roman colony, they likely faced pressure for refusing to honor Roman gods or Caesar, mirroring imprisonment and persecution that Paul experienced for preaching Jesus as the one true king. So can you imagine being a Roman colony and not worshiping the Roman gods? And they had several, the Greek gods, and not worshiping Caesar as a god. So of course, when Paul preached Jesus as one true king, he's going to end up in prison. And so are they going to suffer also because they refuse to follow the false gods and worship Caesar. So the persecution caused a lot of worry and potential divisions within the community, and it was prompted by the news of Paul's imprisonment. So they heard that Paul is in jail for preaching Jesus. They're afraid that persecution is going to come on them and something's going to happen to them because of what they see Paul going through, and now they're scared. So Paul writes to encourage them to remain united, remain fearless, stand firm in their faith despite anything that comes against them. So that is a little bit of an opening introduction for the book of Philippians, or the letter to the Philippians, should I say. So I'm super excited to do this book with you, to do the study with you. And I hope that every single day you leave encouraged, and that you are just full of joy and thankfulness in the Lord, that there is a day coming that we will not go through sufferings and trial and death and hardship and tears and pain and sickness and struggle and all of the things that we go through today, that there is a day coming where the joy we will experience will not even compare to the pain that we're having now. Like, the pain that we have now will not compare to what joy awaits us later. So if we could just remain steadfast, stand firm, persevere, no matter what comes our way, like, we have a hope that everything else, it's going to be redeemed. It is going to be restored. And so that should bring us joy. That should bring us peace. So anyway, I can't wait to get into this later with you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.